Zach.
I know.
Do you? Because we got some questions. We got some things to talk about. Listen, you traded in the chance for $750,000 for $10,000. Fans are calling this one of the dumbest moves in Big Brother history. It's echoing Marcellus Reynolds, who was the first person to not use a veto on himself. Julie even gave you a little slap upside the head.
I know.
Can you lean forward just a little bit?
Yeah. Is something?
What? Why didn't you use it?
I was rolling the dice. It really wasn't for the $10,000. I stand by it. It was because Morgan is literally a top 2 person for me in that house. And it didn't make sense to me in that moment from a game sense, because Vince is my number 1, Morgan is my number 2. And so the fact that they're going to be sitting there themselves up there and I'm going to be off the block, we're still in the same situation. And I was 100% positive that she was going to be the 4th nom. That's the reason why I didn't use it in that moment. But here's the deal. The perception of me in the house at that time when I had the chance to use it was I was going to be in this house no matter what. Ava told me that I was a pawn in that moment. And so I was literally thinking, I was like, I'm good. Like, it doesn't matter what happens in this situation. However, perception changes in that house, as you know. Like 12 hours beforehand, I thought I was good. And then 6 hours leading up to the vote, I'm like, wow, the perception has changed. People that told me that they were 100% would tell me they don't know anymore. And so I knew for a fact that either Vince or I had to win that blockbuster in that moment. When Keanu won, people were literally telling me, good job, as I was like hugging them before I had to give my final speech. So I knew it was wraps at that point. But I still stand by I really do stand by the move, because it wouldn't have made sense to me, because I would have lost one of my best friends in this house and it would have been tough to move forward still. So it is what it is.
Is it tougher to move forward outside of the house or still be in the house with your own safety secured?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm disappointed that I am out of the house, but it would have killed me. It really would have killed me if Morgan had gone home, because I did save myself, because that's the type of relationship that we had. That's the type of relationship that I had with Vince. And I still was pretty confident. Look, we had a 2/3 chance of pulling ourselves off in the blockbuster, Vince and I. It didn't happen. I could have sworn it was going to be an athletic comp, and it definitely was not. But yeah, I mean, like, I can look back at it and be like, dang, I really missed an opportunity, which I did. But I knew what I was doing, rolling the dice, and I really do believe if I had made it past this week, I was well into jury. I was well into a comfortable position, and I would have been able to use that move if I never had to use it. If I was in the final 2 saying, hey, I had a power up that I never had to use. And so that was my thought process. I was thinking too far ahead rather than thinking in the moment. And it came back to bite me in the butt, obviously.
By a vote of 8-2, Zach, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Let's talk about the votes a little bit more. You were evicted by a vote of 8-2, the 2 votes to keep you being Rachel and Will.
Yeah.
Were you more surprised that people like Morgan, Mickey, Lauren were on the other side of the vote?
No, because I knew that there were 4 people in the middle in my eyes. It was Reilly, Lauren, Mickey, and Lauren. And I knew that they were going to decide together. That's kind of like the thought process of it. Did I think that, the writing was going to be on the wall at that point? No, I thought it was going to be the type of thing where Keanu won, and then I was still going to have those 2 minutes. But when I realized that, like, Vince wasn't really pulling people, everyone was literally telling me good job, I was like, wow, I am really screwed in this moment, aren't I? And so, I knew that they were going to vote together. I think the decision really was leading up to the bell. I could be wrong, but from my perception, like, they probably made that decision 30 minutes beforehand, because I knew that they were having a ton of one-on-ones together. So that's why I told people about the power up, heading into that blockbuster, is because, like, I had to ensure my own safety if the worst situation came to pass, which it did, and Keanu ended up winning. So that was my thought process, though, in that moment.
Well, you said that you did feel blindsided, weren't expecting this, expect the unexpected, right?
100%.
Do you feel that, we'll just say, overconfidence is what led to your downfall, or do you think it's something else?
No, I really did believe, like, with both Ava and Will, when they were in the final two in that HOH comp, that I was good. And Ava literally looked me directly in the eyes, and she said, Zach, you're good for this week. And then 12 hours later, I'm sitting there on the block, right? And so, like, literally for the first 2 days of that week, people are telling me, they're like, Zach, you're fine. You're in this game. She told people that Vince had his hand in, like, many different pots. And so he's the main target. If it's not him, it's going to be Keanu. And that's what I heard from everybody. That's what I heard from everybody leading up to where I had the opportunity to take myself off the block in that veto meeting. And then after that, however, is when the perception changed. And so in that moment, I'm like, wow, if I had known this like 24 hours beforehand, then it probably would have been a different situation, because I realized that I was in much hotter water. But that's how the game goes. Perception changes. Literally the night before the live show, I still thought I was okay. Like, I had told people about the power. People were telling me that I was good 100%. Like, literally I had Riley's word and I had Mickey's word in that moment. And then, I wake up the next morning and Ashley's freaking out because she's like, Zach, I don't think you had the votes. And I'm like, okay, so this is actually how it feels to be in Big Brother. That's literally how I felt. But yeah, I mean, look, it's still a great experience, and I still do not regret the decision that I made.
Okay, well, we do need to talk a little bit about some other relationships that you had in the house. It seemed a little bit like you were in some sort of a love triangle this season with Lauren and Morgan. Let's just settle it right here.
Yeah.
If it came down to it, who were you the most aligned with?
What do we mean aligned with? Do we mean like in a romantic sense, or meaning like a game sense? Because there's a different answer for both.
Give me both answers.
Yeah, I mean, from a love sense, the person that I'm most interested in is Lauren. I literally told her, I was like, whenever both of us leave, I am going to book a trip and go see her, because we're kind of talking about, I don't know what she told America, but what the feeling that I got is that she was somewhat interested. It's just that we're on live TV 24 hours a day, and she never has had a boyfriend before. So it's like that whole deal of like, if it actually did come to pass, being on TV is a bit awkward in that moment if you've never had a boyfriend or any type of romantic sense before. But from a game sense, Morgan was my A1. It was her and Vince. Like, they were my top two. And she was literally the first person I told about the power. And she, like, that's the reason why I didn't take myself off. If it was like anybody else, even if it was Mickey, there would have been more of a consideration to take myself off the block, because Vince and Morgan were truly my A1s in the game.
Okay, so we're talking game, we're talking relationships. Let's just say it right plainly. If Morgan and Lauren were next to each other on the block, who would you have saved?
Wow, that was a hot topic. It would have depended on who else was in the game, is the best way I can answer that. If Mickey was still in the game, I would have kept Morgan. And the reason why is because the melting pot, right? That was our alliance. It was the group of four. If Mickey was out of the game, I would have had to talk with Vince and kind of decided, what is best, because we had made final threes with both Morgan and Lauren. And so it's like, who's best for our game to run with in that moment? So it really would have come down to who else was in the house. And so that is the best way I can answer that. I can't answer it any other way.
Very diplomatic, Zach.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about some of your knowledge of Big Brother before going in.
Yeah.
You weren't too familiar with the game of Big Brother before entering the house. You were also the very first person to walk into the house, which the first in curse is something that exists. You're sitting here talking to me. What was the biggest surprise about this whole experience for you?
I mean, biggest surprise is America doesn't realize what goes on behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is the amount of downtime that we have in the house is unbelievable. And like, that's why perception changes so quickly. It's like, you have nothing to talk about. We're sitting there kind of grouped together. We've already talked about what, each person's favorite color is, like where they're from, like who's their mom. I could probably list off like every single person's like backgrounds and everything right now. And so that's the biggest surprise to me. Like, we were in this most recent week, like this week, and we're like, if it's any other show, if it's Survivor, if it's any other show, we would have been done with the season already. That is how long Big Brother is. And we had only evicted 4 people up to that point. And so, like, talk about a long game. Rachel was talking about this is the hardest game she's ever played. Sari from Survivor, she had played Big Brother 1 season, and she said this is easily the hardest game that anyone could possibly play. And it's because you can't really show emotions too much, or else people will put a target on you. You can't really, go away and hide by yourself because people will put a target on you. And so perception is key in that house. And the reason why Vince and I were on the block, I'm assuming one of the reasons is because we stayed up late. Well, it's because there was nothing else to do. We were kind of like night owls. And because of that perception, I'm assuming that's one of the reasons why we were put on the block. And so it is what it is. But yeah, America does not know how much downtime there truly is. So yeah.
Well, what are you going to do with that 10 grand now?
10 grand. Well, I've always talked about, taking my mom to Wimbledon. So it was very funny that London was the prize that I had in that moment. But I obviously, like, Will literally is a father figure to me. He reminds me a lot of my dad, and he meant so much to me in that game. I knew that he would be the most appreciative of that prize. That's why I gave him the London trip. I'm still going to use that 10 grand. I'm going to take my mom to Wimbledon because we've always talked about, watching Rafael Nadal together. However, he is now retired. So we got to go see, Novak Djokovic. I don't know what's been happening the last month. He may have retired as well, but hopefully not. So we can see him next year. So that is 100% what I'm going to do with the 10 grand. So.
Well, it sounds like you still have a strong affinity for Will. Who are you rooting for to win the next HOH?
Well, if it's Rachel, it's going to be fireworks. And for America and for people watching, I have a sick feeling I really want her to win. But I mean, I was actually going to try and throw her out. That's why I say from a viewer's perspective. But no, I mean, in terms of HOH, Vince, Morgan, Mickey, Will. Probably Lauren as well. Those were like the 5 people that I really rode with. And so if any of them win, I'm over the moon. But I don't even know. Does anyone know yet who had won HOH?
We do know.
Do you really? Can you tell me?
I can tell you. It's Rachel.
You are kidding me.
That's
you
serious.
Are kidding me. Oh, I'm going to be tuning in. I told myself I was going to take a couple week break. Now I'm watching what happens this week because Rachel is going to raise hell in that house. My guess is for the 3 people she's going to put up, Vince 100%, Morgan 100%, and it's going to be either Mickey or I really think it's going to be those 3. I think it really is going to be Vince, Morgan, and Mickey because Rachel aired out the heavy hitters to Keanu. So she is 100% coming for them. From a viewer, I'm now a fan now that's watching the show with you guys, and I will be tuning in to see what happens this week. That is crazy.
Well, you've got great reads because paying attention to the live feeds, those are the names that it looks like she's going to be coming for this week. So
really?
Yeah, you could have someone in that house with some fire reads, Zach.
Oh, I love all of that to death, but from a fan perspective, you guys should be excited for this week. It's going to be crazy.
Well, Zach, would you play Big Brother again?
100%. 100%. Obviously, I'm going to be using my powers No, I'm just kidding. If somebody is like Morgan, as the 4th nom, I still stand by what I did. I think it was the correct move in that moment. But 100%, if I get the opportunity again, it's the best experience I think I've ever had in my entire life. More than professional baseball, more than anything else that I've done in my past. This is an experience that's so unique. And I met 16 incredible people. And I'm just hoping that America really enjoyed the show up to this point because it was crazy in that house. I can just say that. So, yeah.
Zach, I know you said just kidding, but don't kid about that. Let this be a lesson. Use the powers when you're in jeopardy. Zach, you were on my draft. It's tough to see you go home this week, but very, very excited to welcome you to the Big Brother community. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Taylor. It's been an incredible experience, and like I said, yeah, it was awesome. I'm really blessed to be part of the Big Brother community now. So yeah.